Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Wonderful. Matthew has learned his lesson. He has adjusted his name accordingly. Mr. Bikini. How are you doing? I didn't
Good.
hear you turned your head around, your microphone went off.
I'm doing good.
Wonderful.
Doing good. How about you?
Doing good, doing good. What state are you in that you're wearing a jacket and a hoodie? Please don't tell me you're in Southwest Louisiana where everything is frozen.
No, I'm in Oklahoma. It's like 32 degrees outside. It's cold.
Oh, but you're speaking to me in Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is. How many?
0 degrees Celsius.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, how is everyone doing? What have you been guys up to? Have you guys done any work?
No, I've been getting my schedule figured out, and I think I got it figured out to now where I can cold call Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and still be able to join meetings on
Okay.
Wednesday and Thursday. So that way. But yeah, I think I got it all worked out now to where.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to make false promises because, like, as you guys know, this is the last thing I do. However, I mentioned this roughly last time. I have an idea on how to do it with the schedule, where people from like Europe as a continent would just probably have meetings just somewhere throughout the day, or where it's just simply not too late for you guys. And people that are on like US time zones will probably just have meetings later in Dubai time, where it will be probably like 5 or 6 a.m. So it will work for both parties because, like, again, for Mr. Matthew, it's too soon in the day, and for you, it's just too late in the day, and for you, it's just like too soon. Because are you in Eastern time zone?
I'm in Central. It's like an hour
Central.
behind.
So it's
Or I think an hour
2
ahead.
p.m. right now.
No, 3:30.
Oh, it's 1 a.m. now my time. Yeah, 3. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out where it will just make sense for both parties, and it will also not kill my time, because the last thing I want to do is, for example, have a coaching call when I'm in a restaurant on a business meeting or with a lady friend of mine. I think that's understandable for all parties. Okay, cool. Does anyone has sales calls, or do we do practices today?
I don't have any sales calls.
Matthew's waiting on his turn. Okay.
Just practice.
So practice it is. So I'm thinking if actually Billy the Kid yesterday made me realize that there is a chance you all may struggle with deflecting a question, because in nowadays society you're more used, especially because of school or your job, to just simply answering every question simply because of the hierarchy that you are in. So I think a good exercise for you guys will be today to just simply practice how to deflect a question. Does anyone know what a deflect a question means?
Kind of like yesterday when you, instead of like, hold on. What was the example? It was like when he asked something, and instead of giving a straight answer, I'd kind of go in like the window. Instead of trying to go through the front door, just kind of deflecting it and then go back in the window. Is that what you're saying yesterday?
More or less, yes. Matthew, do you have anything to add to it?
No.
Is there a specific example I can give you? Let me think about it for a second. Well, especially in sales calls, I'm pretty confident in saying that you may have heard this quote or just the saying that whoever asks questions leads the call. Because by the end of the day, if you're asking questions, the other person's just answering to you. It's not like You simply have the authority over the other individual on the basis that you're asking questions. Yes, they're relevant for you, but then the person just waits for whatever comes from your end. Also, when it comes to asking questions, this is not like I want to focus myself more on the deflecting, but for the sake of example you brought that I mentioned yesterday, what I meant yesterday with the example you have brought, you also need to understand that you can also reformulate your questions and need to understand that if someone is deflecting your questions and you're going to notice it, and on the basis that you're used to deflecting questions, it's going to be pretty easy to see when someone's trying to deflect your question or where someone actually did, then you're going to be easily able to come back on the track and just simply just ask the question in a different manner. So the brain of the individual does not register that you've simply asked the same question. So that's what I meant with the example of if someone doesn't let you through the door, you go through the window. The window doesn't work, cool, the balcony or whatever. When it comes to deflecting a question, very important also to know is, yes, you will have the authority in the call on the basis that you're not going to just simply answer questions to anyone, because if you're going to start answering questions, then the person's just going to ask another question, what you could see with Billy the Kid yesterday. And fun fact about deflecting questions, normal people brain, unless they have trained themselves to do it differently, they will forget what questions have they asked you if you're going to deflect it more or less 3 times. If you guys want to, you can reflect for a second. If you had a situation where you wanted to ask a question, you asked the question, someone redirected the answer from the question to a different direction, you may have remembered it for one answer, you may have remembered it by the second answer, by the third one, empty in your head, with pure emptiness. Am I correct to say that? So the good thing with deflecting questions is it's a habit. Like, it's very easily trainable, because this is also something you can simply do on a daily basis. Because like you can even go to a coffee shop when someone asks you, how was your day? You just simply deflect the question. When it comes to sales calls, you can either simply deflect the question and then redirect the question into, for example, just moving forward with what is it that you wanted to say, what is it that you wanted to ask, or for example, presentation. Or you can also connect it to open-ended questions, where you're going to be able to basically rephrase the question you have asked in a manner where it's just going to give you more abilities to move into different directions. So like as an example will be if someone asks you, for example, about your process, and then you say, yeah, this is one of the things we do. However, what features are most important to you when you choose a product like this? That will be, for example, technically speaking, answering this question, but then you're deflecting it and you're redirecting it with a double on open-ended question, which can go in multiple different ways. Because a closed, like not double-ended question will be simply, a yes or no question, where someone can just simply say, yes, this is something I'm looking for. So how much does it cost? But if you're going to ask, for example, what features are you looking for when it comes to choosing a product like this, then they are not able to say yes. So what I'm thinking is we can just do a role play where, let's say, Mr. Bikini is gonna ask Matthew, a couple of questions, and your goal is to just simply deflect the questions.
Okay.
Please,
Okay.
begin.
So just start from like, what made you join all those questions?
Yeah, you can do it like this.
Okay, awesome. So what brought you to the call today?
Well, I'm just exploring my opportunities in lead generation services.
Nice. What other
Amazon the word.
sources? Nice. Okay. What other sources are you using for lead generation?
Okay, so I'm currently using a couple of sources, and for example, I'm using Zillow and Realtor.com. And is this something what you can offer to me?
Yeah.
See,
So
stop. You could have deflected it easier without literally answering his question. So he asked you what lead generation methods do you currently use. You could simply just say, "Oh, I do a bunch of different things, but are you doing lead generation?"
Mm-hmm.
Because then you will win over the authority. Because then he's gonna feel like he needs to answer you the question, and then it will be basically who's able to deflect questions for the longest. So
Mm-hmm.
okay.
try again. Just ask the same question again.
That's the same one.
Yep.
Okay. So what lead generation sources are you using?
Well, I'm using multiple things to get for my real estate business. And are you doing lead gen?
Yeah, we do lead gen. We also do branding. Later on in the presentation, I'll show you which results that you're getting on those.
Well, I'm doing pretty good. Like it's working for me. What are your results with this? What are your results with your lead gen? What you do?
So yeah, we usually use things like Facebook and Instagram. That's usually what we get the best results on. But it really just depends on the type of content that we're rolling out. I don't even really know what to say to that.
You've just literally wonderful.
Yeah.
Matthew just fucking destroyed you.
I have no clue what to say. That was good.
I like this. I like this. I'm going to use it every day, every time. I really like this.
Funny enough, like I don't care if one of you has girlfriend or wife, whatever. You can also a good way in case you're scared to, for example, speaking to strangers. A good way will be to speak to women just on the street. You need to understand you're not there to fuck them. You just want to get to know them, for example, or just even get their number, just delete it afterwards. I did it multiple times just for shitting girls. But you will very easily see how often, if the woman is not interested in you, she will deflect the question. Or what a lot of people are doing subconsciously, they are very often just deflecting a question if you are touching a topic that they are not comfortable with. Obviously, then they are also able to, for example, tell it to you with a body language where they are crossing arms or something like that. But most likely, you will notice that people out of nowhere start deflecting questions, because if someone doesn't have sales experience, this is not something that they are actively doing. So now let's change the role. Matthew, deal with it.
Okay, Mr. Bikini. So what browser is called today?
I'm just really looking at my options. I've joined some other calls like this, and I really just want to see what's out there before I decide.
Okay, so you are exploring your opportunities in lead gen.
Yeah. What all do you guys offer? I know some other people, they offer like lead gen, and then that's the only thing. But what do you guys offer?
Yes, like we also offer lead gen. Like, what kind of lead gen are you using for your real estate business?
That was a terrible answer. You could literally say, well, it's technically still part of our services, but I'll be more than happy to look into in depth on it soon. But then what is it you specifically do? Like, how many leads do you generate? Or have you even moved forward with any of those companies you spoke to? Or better question. Yeah, so look, this is technically speaking one part of our system. More than happy to discuss this with you in details later down the line. However, by the way, I assume you have not moved with any other of those companies that you have spoke to. May I ask why?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's also a crucial information for you in this case, because like if he has spoke, for example, to 10 companies, we're doing something with lead gen, you don't want to say, yeah, we do lead gen, because immediately in this moment, he's going to put you in the same bracket as all of those different companies that he has not moved forward with. And if he's going to tell you why not, that's also good information, because you can in your head be like, okay, Am I like those kinds, or am I better?
Yeah, and I
So
can also
please
use
try
this
again.
information. Yeah, okay. Okay, so what methods are you currently using to generate the leads for your real estate business?
I'm just using like what my brokers, what they have me doing. Like I can share with other people, and then I also like to use Zillow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and approximately how many leads do you engage monthly?
I'd say about 15 to 20.
And are you satisfied with the quality of those leads?
Every once in a while, yes. But that's kind of one thing I'm looking for. Is that something that you guys would do, is like pre-qualified leads?
Yes, that's a part of our process.
So how do you guys go about qualifying them?
Well, qualification process is a part of our services, what we can basically offer to you. And yeah,
Okay, stop. You just lost.
yes.
You can literally like he remind me of the because I want to paraphrase. What was the exact question you asked?
I said, so how do you guys go about qualifying those leads?
Oh, yeah. The easiest way to deflect that will be, oh, more than happy to show you this as a live example. But then, what would you understand as qualification, or what will make a lead qualified for you?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Good
then
example.
he's currently talking about something you don't have an understanding of, because you don't know by the end of the day what a qualification means for him.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I actually need to think about one of your recent sales calls where the woman had like in her head, qualified lead will mean for her that the person is pre-approved for a fucking mortgage. You're not a bank. In no world you will be able to provide that to her. So immediately the expectation in terms of working with you together will not exist.
Mm-hmm.
Please change the roles.
Okay, I'm just gonna ask a random one. So what is your like average listing that your houses are priced for?
Oh, like my average listing price last year was around $400,000.
Wait. You
Good
had
number.
such a perfect opportunity to spit on him. Do you know why? You know what will be the best way to deflect this? He's asking you what is the average listing price you're working with. I will literally just look at him and wait. You said you're working with realtors in my area. You don't know how much your average listing price in New Jersey is?
Yes.
Okay.
Because then, on the basis that he doesn't know sales, or that he's a new at selling what is it that he's selling, he will shit himself. And he will be like, oh, and he will start basically just, clarifying his own existence.
Mm-hmm.
So please, try again. Just change the question if you can, Mr. Bikini.
Okay. Let's do. So how many clients have you signed this month?
So this month so far, I closed
Stop, I
5
actually need to
deals.
interrupt you because you're both in real estate. Don't say how many clients have you signed. Just say how
I'm
many
not in
deals
real
have you
estate.
closed. Oh, what were you in? Sorry?
I'm in pool installation.
Okay, no, then it works for you. Never mind. But just for you, Matthew, stop saying how many people have you like how many clients have you signed, because that doesn't like this is not the niche knowledge. This is not the niche terminology. In your case, it will be how many deals have you closed, or how many buyers and sellers have you dealt with, stuff like that. Yeah, move forward.
Yes. Okay, so so far this month I've been able to close 5 deals.
5 deals. Nice. And how are you getting those deals?
Well, I'm using multiple different options in terms of lead generation services. Also, are you offering a lead generation service?
Yeah, we offer lead generation and branding. Later on, if we get into the PowerPoints, I'll show you how we do it and I'll break it all down. But you said that you were using multiple different sources. What kind of sources are you using?
Well, I'm using my social media, like I'm taking care of my social media by myself, and also using a bunch of different platforms. For example, Zillow, Realtor. Um, hmm,
I like how you lost.
yes, yes.
You had a good start. You like you were like playing tennis. You were just you tossed him the ball in the right swing. Then he tossed it back, and you're like, oh my god, I don't know how to use this racket.
Yeah.
Do you want to change the sides, or do you want to try again with Mr. Bikini?
Yeah, we can try again. That's okay. I was just
Then
not able to find a good question to ask.
wonderful. That's why we are training both of your brain to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is an exit of every situation in every case. You just need to think of it.
Mm-hmm.
The funny example, retarded actually example, but I think it may relate to you guys. If you're not gonna understand it, just let me know. If I'm not mistaken, there was an old movie with Bruce Lee where he was chasing some bad guys, and then he, out of nowhere, was locked in a room where, like, from all the sides, all the doors were locked. And instead of just punching the wall or being mad or trying to jump around and figure out where can get out, what he will do is just sit down and contemplate, save energy. Because only if you're not going to be emotional in that moment, you can think of a solution. Or you can simply think of, okay, what would be the best move in this current moment?
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know if have you guys watched Suits? It's a series. Or are you familiar with the name Harvey Specter? No? Okay, then I'm not gonna bring that example.
I'm familiar with that, but I didn't watch the series.
Okay. There was one, actually. I'm gonna Google it because I don't want to paraphrase it. Do, 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 do. I really don't want to paraphrase it. Ba, ba, ba. Wait a second. I'm not gonna be able to find it. God damn it. I really want to find it because I actually think. Yes. So it was a conversation between two lawyers. And Harvey Specter said, what are your choices when someone puts a gun to your head? Then the other lawyer, which is Mike Ross, said, what are you talking about? You do what they say or they shoot you. So Harvey Specter's response to that is, you take the gun or you pull out a bigger one. Because most people will think like Mike Ross, where, oh, nothing I can do in this situation. Then Harvey is someone who knows negotiations, who knows sales, who knows closing, will think of a solution. Okay, I can take the gun. What is the percentage of that? Or I can take a bigger out. Is that a better example for you both to understand it?
Yeah.
Okay, then please move forward.
Do you still want me to ask the question to you, Matthew? Or do you want to switch? Let me ask.
No, he didn't want to switch.
Oh, he did want to?
He wants to, he wants to try not to fail after one ball being rolled back to you.
Okay. I mean, what should I ask? I don't want to just start on the same like listings or something like that.
Think
Should I start like goals? Like like what's your goals for the future?
sure, why not?
So Matthew, what's your goal for the next 3 months?
For next 2 months,
Next three.
next 3 months. Okay, so basically, I just want to close more deals with my real estate business.
Close more deals. Okay. And have you thought of a strategy on how you're going to close more deals?
Yes, I've been thinking about it for a longer time. Also, is this something you can help me with?
Yeah, this will definitely be something I can help you with. Um, so you said
I'm
that
in
it's
the
something
word.
that you,
I know that you're
okay.
thinking, but you need to remove this from your dictionary
Yeah.
because there is no reason for you to make a sound when you think.
Okay. Yeah.
You're not running on Windows XP where you turn it on and it's like
Can you ask that
so
question
we
again,
ask
Matthew?
you, is this something you can help him with?
Yes, this is something that I can help you with. Like in the presentation I'll show you later, we'll show you two ways that we like to help people. One is, of course, by getting leads, but then the second way is by building up your brand so people know about you. And I'll go into more detail about that later. But is there anything that you're doing right now that's helping you hit those goals in the next 3 months?
Yes, I'm using a bunch of different services in order to get more leads. And also, can you also help me with lead generation for my real estate business?
Yeah. Yeah. That, like I just said, that'll be no problem for us. Lead generation is something we specialize in. And like I said, it's in the presentations. We'll break it all down for you so it makes sense. And if there's any questions about it, you can ask us.
Hmm.
But what are you using right now for lead generation?
Well, like I said, I'm using a lot of different services. Mm. And also, for example, I'm using my own social media profiles. Like I'm taking care of this. Are the part of your service what you guys do taking care of social media?
Yeah, yeah. So I was about to ask is what social medias are you using?
Wonderful. This is the first time you actually used your brain and deflected the question. Because every single time you answer his question and you even like for some reason you over explain.
Okay. Is
He
that
asked
a
about
bad
lead
thing to over
generation.
explain?
Yes, because look,
Okay.
he said, are you doing lead generation? You said, yes, this is something we do. More than happy to show you in details. Cool. He just put you in the same bracket as any other program, service, or company that he already worked with. Now he asked you, by the way, do you also help with social media management? You have not even said yes, no, or maybe. You immediately deflected it. That was the first time you did
Okay.
it correctly.
Okay. So like how I just deflected it immediately. So you're trying not to like give it a direct answer
Yes.
and kind of just push it right back on them.
Yes, because also dependent, obviously, on the question, if you're gonna, you need to understand how normal people brain operates. They only hear, they are only able to register the first, for example, words or sentence. So if they are asking you a question and you just say yes, cool, registration stopped. I have my answer. Mr. Bikini is like any other lead gen company. Because you also have never said that it's part of your software or part of what is it you're doing.
Okay.
So try again.
Where were we at? Forgot.
Hmm?
It was what question did I ask last? Oh yeah. What social medias are you using right now?
Well, I'm focusing on my Facebook page, my Facebook profile, but I'm thinking about other different social medias to use and take care of. Is this something you can help me with? Are you taking care, for example, on Instagram or maybe LinkedIn?
Yeah, we like to use Facebook as well. If you're having any problems with that, later on I can show you how we do it. And we also like to use Instagram, and later on I'll show you exactly how we do that also. But how long is it taking you out of your time, out of your day, to manage that Facebook? Because you're saying you're having trouble even setting it up. So like how long on average are you spending on it?
Well, it takes me a couple of hours per day to take care of everything, and that's also the reason why I'm here. So I'm just exploring and hoping that you guys can help me with that.
Yeah. Is there anything else better you could be doing with your time in those few hours than trying to manage that Facebook account?
I'm pretty sure that I can spend the time much better than just taking care of my profiles.
Stop. Did you see what you just did? You have deflected his question twice. He lost the track of the question.
Okay.
You could see it in his face.
Yeah.
He connect the fucking dots. The dots were not there.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So he just gave up on giving you the question. I also like the fact that he was supposed to deflect your questions. He fucked up. Like that's completely besides the point. Jake, just for like because you just joined, just for your clarity, do you know what deflecting questions is?
I assume just changing the subject.
More or less. So it's just basically giving an answer without giving an answer and redirecting the call or the question that was asked to you into the direction you want to direct it to. Because fundamentally speaking, normal people's brain, after 2 to 3 times of the question being deflected, they just don't remember the question. Unless you're trained on sales, then you can train your brain to just remember things. Like, for example, I have psychological issue. I don't fucking remember. I'm not able to forget numbers. Genuine. But then, do you want to observe one more round and then step in, or do you want to dive into? Okay, cool.
No, watch one more.
Cool. Then let's change the scenario because technically speaking, Matthew was very confident in saying he wants to train. He fucked up massively. He forgot his own question. So please, let's change the role.
Okay, so what are your goals for this year with your business?
I really want to scale. Honestly, I'm looking to get about 10, maybe 20 more leads per month. Is that something you'd be able to help us with?
Lead generation is a part of our process. And I also fucked up because I don't know what to ask.
You were on the right way if you will fucking redirect
the
question because you have not answered this question, but you just for some reason stopped.
Yes.
Okay, do you want to try again?
Sure. Okay, so yes, so lead generation is part of our service and also what we can do for you, and it's also something I can show you later during this conversation. And do you have any plan of action on how to achieve your goals?
Not really. That's kind of why I've been joining some Zoom calls, is just to see who's the best. Like right now, a lot of people are only offering lead generation. Is that the only thing that you're offering?
Like I said before, lead generation is just a part of our process. So you were talking with like different companies in order to help you reach your goals?
Yeah. All of them are doing lead generation, but I kind of want something more. Honestly, I just don't really know what I'm looking for right now.
Okay, and I assume that you didn't move forward with someone else with some different company. Can you explain to me why that happened? Why you wasn't able to move forward with someone else?
Yeah, it's typical lead generation. It's just, like I said, I'm just looking for more of a more stable way of getting leads.
Wonderful. He literally forgot to ask you questions. In this case, you can just literally move forward with the call and be like, okay, got you. But then what is it like specifically look for? Because you've mentioned you spoke with a lot of different companies that were doing lead gen. I assume that's not enough. There is a reason why you didn't move forward with them. There is a reason why you're on the call with me. So is your only goal to just get additional 10 to 20 leads coming in per month just to increase the revenue, or what is it exactly? Like, what's on your mind?
Mhm.
Okay.
Jake, do you get the concept, or do you want to?
No. Who? So we're meant to be asking the question, and they're trying to worm around and just confuse us.
So I'm trying to teach you where, independent of if you're on a sales call, independent if you're speaking to a woman on the street, independent if you're in a coffee shop, that if someone is asking you a question, you can deflect it very easily and redirect any conversation into the direction you want to have.
Okay.
So
How are we
technically,
trying to redirect here, or who's trying to redirect?
both of them were supposed to deflect fucking questions, but every single time both fuck up.
Oh, okay.
Till just like till one of them is just best at being worse because the other one is just fucking up more and just forgets his own question. So that's the only reason why it works.
Okay.
But like, you need to understand you're still better than like normal people. But here is also a perfect example, as you could see. I don't know how deeply you have observed, but Matthew will ask Mr. Bikini something, and after 2 questions, again, being deflected, he just forgot to add a question and come back to the topic he wanted to have an answer to.
Okay.
Because this is generally how normal people's brain operates. Like, you can deflect a question once and they are gonna forget that they even asked it. This is for you also, Jake, because you were not here when I gave that example. What I will recommend you doing is just, even when you're gonna speak to, I don't know if you're in a relationship, doesn't matter, because like you can still, for example, pick up numbers from women, just delete them afterwards, just for the sake of doing it. With women, it's easier interaction because they are very often do things out of gut feeling. So very often they will subconsciously, even if, for example, you're touching a topic that is not like, making them comfortable, they will immediately deflect any questions about it. So on the basis that you have seen it once, or you're able to utilize it for yourself, you will very easily also able to observe when is someone deflecting any questions. And then you can ask the same question in a different manner, just for example, by exchanging one keyword to see if you're going to be able to break that barrier.
Okay. Okay. I think I understand a little bit.
No, but then let's just run one more round and then you can step in. So
Sure.
do you guys want to change the roles, or?
No matter to me. You want to switch?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, do that.
Okay. So how many sales have you made this year?
Well, so far this month I was able to close 5 deals. And by the way, is this something you can help me with? Can you deliver me more leads for my business?
Yeah. So lead generation is something we do. You said 5 sales. About how many opportunities did you get to close those? Because you said you had 5. So how many?
Stop for a second. I like how he didn't even mention lead generation and you have just mentioned it.
Okay.
There was no reason for you to mention it. You could just simply say, yeah, we absolutely can help you with just get more sales. And then you add a question in which you can redirect the question to, so you can still have the authority over it.
Okay.
For some reason, you just picked up the buzzword, because lead generation is a buzzword, and you just throw it in there.
Okay.
Which gives him an idea of, oh, so he's doing lead gen.
Okay.
The last thing you want to do is, even if you ask questions, put answers to your question in the question. Very often, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it. I don't know if I can think of an example that is not sales goal related. Yes, I'm pretty sure you guys went to, for example, coffee shops or some shit like that, or even in a restaurant. But I think coffee shop is more, you're probably more used to it, where you just want a coffee and they are people who don't know sales. They're just gonna ask you what size, or there are people who are longer in hospitality and they're just gonna ask you, oh, do you want big one or a small one? If, for example, you go to a restaurant and the waiter knows what he's doing, this is how I always got my tips, I remember. After the dinner, you will be asked, do you want any dessert? This is how a normal waiter that is just unexperienced will ask you. If someone's experienced enough, they will ask you, would you prefer espresso or dessert? Because then I'm giving you answer that you feel obligated to just to pick one. And you literally just gave him lead gen.
Yeah. Okay.
So if, for example, he has used any lead gen services before, he already sees you in the wrong picture. And this will happen, what, the first 2 minutes of the call?
Yeah.
So then you will really need to fight against the picture he has created in his head about you. So please try again.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be able to help you get more leads. So about how many potential sales are you looking at before you make a sale?
Well, I'm able to contact a lot of people, let's say more than 50, but for sure I would love to increase those numbers, and that's also why I'm here, because is this something you also can help me?
Yeah,
Right?
that'll be something we can help you with. But did you say 50 or 15?
I said 50.
50? Okay. So you talk to about 50 people before you make one sale? Is that correct?
I said I need to talk with 50 people to be able to close 5 deals.
5 deals. Okay, so you're closing one deal per 10 people.
Yeah, that's correct. Your math
Okay.
is good.
Awesome. So about the average profit margin in Texas, let's say it's $300,000. Is that about where yours is at?
Yeah. My average listing price is around $320,000. And also, can you what exactly your process looks like? Can you like take care of my social media profiles?
Yeah, I'll go over all that later on in the slideshows. I'll break everything down for you. You said that I forgot. I forgot what I was asking. Dang it.
And the thing is, he didn't even deflect it correctly, and you forgot.
Yeah, I just forgot.
That's why you need to train your brain.
Okay.
That's why we are doing this. Jake, do you have a better understanding?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Wonderful, because now I'm gonna harass you with both of them. So now, Jake, deal with Matthew. After Matthew, you're gonna deal with Mr. Bikini.
Okay. So, how many leads? Oh no, fuck, that was a bad one. It's already fucked up. So, how many clients would you close on, like annually?
Annually, well, let's say last year I've been able to close 30 deals.
30 deals. Okay. And what was the annual average listing of these deals?
Yeah, so my average listing price, while we're still talking about last year, was around $350,000. And by the way, can you help me get more deals for my business?
I'll definitely break down the aspects of our operation later on in our call. But first of all, is 350,000 the usual price this year as well?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Perfect, perfect. And what is your commission on these sales?
Okay, so my commission per one closed deal is around 5%. But also, how exactly your process looks like?
I'm absolutely willing to break down the process. I'm just trying to understand if we'll work well together before we get to that. When we talk about your commission, do you break that with a brokerage or is that straight to you?
So
Yeah.
M is not a word. And Matthew, you fucked up. You had a perfect opportunity to shit on him because he asked you about commission. And before that, the question he asked you, he had knowledge about your area. And out of nowhere, he didn't have the knowledge or he didn't show the knowledge about commission. So you could literally just, instead of answering how much is your commission, you could have literally said to him, how come you don't know how much a realtor makes?
Okay.
That will be a deflection. But you just took whatever he gave you. Okay, let's change the role. So, Jake, Mr. Bikini.
Okay. So, how many people are on your team?
There's about 4 of us.
Or us? And you're the lead?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. And what's the average listing price of the houses in your area?
Do you not know the average listing prices in Texas?
We're well aware. I was just wondering if you were working in the same ballpark as some of my clients.
Yeah. We usually work in the same ballpark.
And if you have a figure, would you have it there?
It would be about 400,000.
Okay, brilliant. And the average commission in Texas is
That was a good opportunity to position yourself higher than him because you said, oh, I just want to figure out if you're in the same ballpark as our company.
oh,
So you
okay.
can shit on him saying,
Oh, okay.
I don't know what listing prices are you working with. I have realtors who are dealing with 2 million listing prices, and I have realtors who are dealing with 500,000. So what range are you working with?
Okay. So should I do that? Just give a range, like give a huge like number and then a shit like little one and be like,
Yes, because
okay.
if you're, for example, only dealing with people who sell 2 million houses, then 500,000 should not be a problem.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay.
You just simply answered his question. So please try again. By the way, like you need to understand, independent who's selling, who's buying, you can deflect on both sides. Like that's why I'm training you on this, because this is literally something you can use in every, like you can do this everywhere. It doesn't only apply if you're only selling.
Okay.
Try again.
Okay. How many sales did you make last year?
About 20. Is that something you're going to be able to help us with? Is getting more clients?
I'll definitely break
sales?
down I'll definitely break down some of the processes that we have in our system. But first of all, what is the listing price for your houses? Because in Texas we usually have the average listing price of 400,000.
M is not the word. Please remove it from your dictionary.
What
The
is
average
the
listing price, it's about 400,000. But how are you going to get us those? Because like I said earlier, we use Zillow. So how are you going to be different from that?
We use a few different methods other than Zillow,
It's
but
not the fucking word. Doesn't exist.
I'll stop. I'll try. Right. We use multiple different sources. I'll definitely break them down when we get
M
to our
is not the
presentation.
word.
Fuck.
No,
It's a
like, you need
great.
to understand. I'm being account to you because then you're actually gonna notice it every time when you're gonna say it. You're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
get annoyed when you're gonna speak to normal people because you're gonna understand when people think they make fucking noises. The amount of times where I even in Dubai, even in my building, I meet someone in the elevator, they're speaking to me, I get annoyed because I ask them a question, they're like, you don't need to make a sound when you think.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay. Do you find it hard converting prospects into clients?
I mean, some months I have.
Motherfucker, M is not the word. I'm gonna stop you both in a second.
I didn't even spot it in him. Like I'm so bad. I'm deaf to it. Like
Usually we sell about 5 1 month, 10 the next month. It kind of just depends on the month.
okay. And the average commission in Texas is 5%. Is that what you're working with?
Yes, 5%.
Okay, okay. And are you working with
Motherfucker, I'm gonna slap you with the M. I'm gonna buy you a fucking t-shirt with M.
I'm writing M up here, like don't do it. Don't fucking say it. Right. Got it in front of me now. Okay.
Motherfucker.
Fuck. I spotted it there. At least I spotted it for myself now.
You take a fucking break. Please, man.
Please, please.
Step in, otherwise I'm gonna kill both of them.
Oh man.
What? Who is asking?
I don't care. You can pick Mr. M number 1 or Mr. M number 2, honestly.
Okay, so let's practice with Jake.
Lovely.
So Jake,
Oh man, I'm gonna kick you out if you're gonna say M again.
yes. So Jake, what are your goals for this year?
I'm so tempted about clicking remove. I think it's ready.
My goals for this year are to close more houses than I did last.
Okay, and how many houses have you sold last year?
We sold closer to 20.
And was 20 sold houses also your target for last year?
I would have preferred to have more houses. Is that something you can help us with?
Sure, and very soon I can explain to you in details how I can help you with that. Did you have any plan of action, or how did you want to hit your targets last year?
I was thinking about running ads, but I wasn't too sure about it. Do you guys run ads?
That's something we can do for you. That's something we can also we have that's also something we can typically use in like part of our process. Do you have any experience with paid advertising?
I have no experience with paid advertising.
By the way, is also another word, and A is also another word. Like
I'm
you
spotting
have
them now,
shortened-
though. I'm spotting them now.
You have shortened it instead of like you have removed H and M, but it's still not a fucking word.
I've never done the advertising myself. I'd be interested in looking into it, if that's something you offer.
Well, like I said, that's something what is a part of our process.
He didn't ask. He didn't ask. It was not a question. What? Why? Why do you answer it?
Because I thought that it is a question.
No, he didn't ask. He forgot. You just answered something that was not a question. It's like
Okay.
a woman will tell you, "Oh, I'm lonely," and you'll be like, "Oh, my apartment is free." Like, where is the connection? Yes, there are some dots. You may connect them later on.
That was a
But
good
like-
example, actually. That was a good example.
Okay, please change the partner, otherwise I'm gonna kill you both.
Okay, Mr. Bikini. So usually, how many leads do you engage monthly?
Usually we have about 50 leads that we talk to monthly.
Okay, and what kind of services are you using to engage those leads and get those leads for your business?
We like to use referrals and Willow. Is there other ones that you could help us use, or is there any that you use that you would prefer?
It's a usual thing that realtors using the sphere of influence, but have you ever think about, for example, social media or paid advertising at all?
Yeah, I've thought about both of those, but I really don't know too much about them. Is that something that you're going to help us with?
Yeah, that's definitely something I can help you with. And have you ever Have you ever tried that?
No.
You do it.
You have answered his question and you also said M in the middle of the sentence.
So you notice that.
Is this something you can help me with? Yes. Okay, I have my answer. So you're running ads and you're doing social media, cool. So what's the price? Because realistically speaking, if he's gonna ask you what's the price 3 times, you're just gonna break and you're just gonna tell him the price. So Mr. Bikini, Jake, because Matthew just fucked up.
Okay. So what lead generation are you using in the past to help get those leads?
Mainly referral.
Why just referral?
We found word of mouth has been useful. Do you offer a different version of lead generation?
Yeah, that's definitely something we can help you with. Are you not worried about being consistent? What if people stop talking? Then what's going to happen about your monthly?
I'm sure that would never happen. But is there oh fuck. Is there anything is there any other ways you could run or generate leads for us?
Yeah, later on I'll show you and I'll break it all down for you from A to Z, and it's simple. But like I was saying, what are you going to use? Like you said, you just do by word of mouth. Are you not looking for a steady lead source coming in, or are you just kind of hoping it's good by word of mouth?
I would prefer more leads coming in, absolutely. I'd never say
So
no to
what
more
is so let's say for the next 3 months, how many leads are you wanting to come in?
I would love to have 20 more leads coming in. Do you think you could provide me 20 more leads?
20 more? Yeah, we'll definitely be able to help with 20 more leads. But how are you going to get those 20 more leads?
I wasn't sure at all. That's why I'm here.
You fucked up. He asked you, can you provide 20 leads? You said yes. Better answer. First of all, for some reason, you're all starting saying we. So that will be also something I will adjust and assess to just figure out, does he has a team? Is he even a team leader? And in this case, you can deflect a question with a simple answer as, well, that obviously depends on your maximum capacity. Is 20 the maximum amount you can handle?
Okay.
Because then it's a power conversation. It's a dick measurement content, and not just, can you provide 20? Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please try again, but then Jake, now you're asking him.
Okay. Fuck. It's just in my mind. It's in my mind. Right. How many leads did you close? Or sorry, how many houses did you sell last year?
Last year, I think we sold 35 or 40,
35 or
somewhere
40?
in that range.
And the average listing price in Texas is 400,000. Is that what you work with?
Yes, yes. Is that something you're going to be able to help us with? Is finding qualified leads like that?
I'm definitely willing to break down our.
houses?
I'll definitely break down our processes later on in the call. But I'll definitely break down our processes later on in the call. Is there any other ways you use lead Is there any other ways you generate leads?
We use Willow and word of mouth, just referrals.
Okay.
But what are you going to use, and how are you going to make sure that they're qualified to even spend money on a $400,000 house?
We use multiple different systems. I'll definitely break them down for you when we get later on into the call. Do you have what's your commission when you sell these houses? The average listing commission in Texas is 5%. Are you on the same?
Yes, we're 5% as well.
Okay. And is 400,000 the most expensive house you've sold?
No, that's just our average. We've sold anything up to 600,000 and something as low as 250,000. But I don't want someone to come in here with a budget of 200,000 trying to afford a $400,000 home. So that's why I'm trying to ask, how are you going to qualify these leads for us?
Okay, you're definitely in the lower end of clients we work with, so that shouldn't be an issue. And is there a bigger team with you? you work on your own?
No, I work for 4 other people.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Really? He just told you he's working for other people and you said brilliant.
Okay, true, yeah.
Good 9 to 5er. Here is a fortune cookie.
No, okay. Are you the leader of this team?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Oh no, I felt that was that good, like avoiding. I thought we were doing it.
It was better than brilliant. Good 9 to 5er. Come here, I'm gonna pet you. Especially because with this question, or basically with this answer, you know, he's a key decision maker. With the other question, oh, he's someone's bitch.
Okay, okay.
The other was not even a question, you just said brilliant.
Yeah, no, I know. Just a bad reaction. Like, how are you meant to kind of react to some of their answers? Like, you're just kind of like,
Okay.
just okay, okay.
Yeah, because like, you need to understand, he literally just told you the highest he has ever sold was 600. The lowest he has ever sold is 250. That's not a big fucking number.
Okay.
Give me 1 second, guys, because all right. Bikini, Matthew, because Jake turned his camera on.
You want me to go?
Okay, good. So, Mr. Bikini, what are your goals for this year?
Honestly, my goals are to hit. I want to hit 50 more deals per month. Does that sound crazy? Is that something you can help us with?
You said 50 or 15?
50.
50. Well, that also depends on if you can handle 50 more deals per month. Do you have any team members to help you with that? Or are you working
Yes,
just by
yeah.
yourself?
No, I have four team members.
And are you the team leader?
Yes.
Okay, and do you have any plan of action of how do you want to reach those 50 additional deals?
Not really. That's kind of why I was joining this call, was to see if this was even worth my time, to be honest. But I really don't understand what all you guys are trying to do. Like, how are you going to help us reach those 50?
Yes, that's definitely something I'm going to show you and explain in details, but first I need to just better understand your business. So what was your target for last year?
Our target for last year was 25, and we hit that target pretty consistently.
So you was able to hit your targets every single month?
Yes.
Okay, good. So what is your average listing price? Because the typical and average listing price in Texas area is, and also our clients from Texas working with average listing price around $450,000. So do you work with the same number? Or what is your average listing price?
No, we work our average listing price is about $1 million down to 600,000. Are you going to
That's
make
your-
sure? Yes, that's our average, is from $1 million to 600,000.
Okay,
Is that a problem?
Effie, you fucked up because you shit yourself when he said that number. Maybe we could see it on your face. That's one thing. Second of all, I will, before going into average listing, I will actually ask him. Also, I'm a little bit confused. You basically on monthly basis, you're with your team closing 25 deals. You want to have 50 more, which would be 75. So what's your plan of getting 3x? Because it's basically triple your team. You can ask, like, you can generally like act confused. Because unless he's gonna get 8 additional people, I don't see it going anywhere. You can make him feel stupid. Okay, let's change the roles because you fucked up. So, Mr. Bikini, attack him.
So what lead generation are you guys using right now to help grow your business?
Well, I'm using a bunch of different services to help me get more leads for my real estate business. Is lead generation also something you can help me with?
Yeah, it's something we can help you with, but what lead generation services are you using now?
Well, like I said before, I'm using different services. Let's say, for example, I'm using Zillow or Realtor.com, and also I'm trying to work on my social media. So I'm using my social media. Is social media and taking care of social media management at all something you guys work with? Is this something you can help me with?
Yeah, it's something we can help you with. How are those leads though? Are they the type of leads that you're wanting? Are they qualified?
Well, I think that it should be better for sure.
You fucked up. You could literally just say to him, well, it depends what you understand under qualified. That will be a deflection. And you're just like, well, I don't know, actually.
Yes, because I already had a question in my head and I wanted to ask him about qualification process.
Wonderful. But is it all about the question or is it about deflecting the question? If you're not able to do both at the same time, cool, focus yourself on the one, because that's why you're currently in a buyer position, he's in the seller position. Because you have the problem that you're currently only able to focus yourself on one of those things. So just use this to your advantage. That's why I constantly change the roles, so you can focus yourself on mastering one, because then the other one is going to be easier. But okay, Mr. Bikini, attack the dog.
So Jake, what is your goal for the next 3 months?
I think I'd like to sell 10 more houses.
And how are you going to do that?
By running ads.
Have you done ads in the past?
I've tried Meta before. I'd be interested in trying some Facebook.
Some Facebook, okay. And did you use someone else to run those ads, or did you run those ads yourself?
I ran them myself.
You run them yourself. And how long did it take you to do that?
Okay, stop.
I forgot I was meant to be done. I forgot I was deflecting.
You guys don't fucking deflect questions. Just at least ask another question so you can at least get the fucking winning position in the call. Currently, you just answered every single question. I'm not speaking about you, Bikini. I'm speaking about Jake.
Yeah, I completely forgot I was meant to be challenging.
You fucking answered every single question. Kevin, do you understand what we are doing, or do you want me to explain on it?
So from what I'm seeing, it's basically just doing discovery.
No.
Okay, then explain it.
So what we are practicing right now is deflecting questions. Do you know what the deflecting question means?
Deflecting as in from the seller's position or the buyer's position?
both. They are just terrible
Is
at
it objections?
No. Deflecting a question is basically helping you to either answer a question without answering it, or winning back the authority over the call, where you can redirect the direction of the call.
Okay.
Just listen to Jake. Can you target Matthew?
Yeah.
And let me know, Kevin, if you're gonna understand after this example.
So, Matthew, what would success in the next 6 months look like for you?
Get more closed deals for my business.
Okay. And have you tried any lead generation sources before?
Yeah, I tried a couple of things before. Is lead generation something you can help me with?
That's definitely something I'll break down with you when we get further on into the call. I'd like to know how many houses you sold last year.
Well, last year, our targets, my target was to sell at least 5 homes per month.
Okay. And did you sell 60 in the year?
Yes.
That was a very big fucking yes. I would no, the way he said yes, I will literally look at him like, yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Are you sure you sold 60 houses?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And what was the average listing house or listing price for these houses?
Well, I work with a bunch of different prices, but when I can take a look on an average, I would say $700,000. Are you guys working with prospects that can afford that house?
We have prospects between the range of 700,000 and 2 million. Yeah, so we could definitely work with you. You're in our ballpark. And with a sale, what is your commission? The average
Well,
commission in Texas is usually around 5%. So I'm wondering, are you in the same range?
yes, I'm working around 5% also. And what's your qualification process with the prospects looks like?
I'm more than happy to break that down with you when I get to the presentation. I first just want to know, I heard you say we earlier. You are the main decision maker with this
Yes, I
business.
am.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And you're working with a team?
Stop for a second. You could have formulated this better. Like, because the way you formulated it right now, the only way he can answer is yes.
Okay.
Because there is a chance his ego is gonna be hurt. So what you want to do is, oh, by the way, just so I have like clarity on my end, I heard you mentioning we, just for my own clarity. Are you the key decision maker, or is there anyone else that should be present on the call?
Okay. And if he says yes, I'm the main decision maker, am I allowed to say yeah? That okay? I'm allowed to say brilliant.
Then you can just move forward, because then you know, okay, then by the end of the whole call, you can actually present him the prize. And then he's not gonna be able to throw you the smoke screen of, oh, I need to speak to someone, because then you can be like, oh, so did you lie to me? Or like, what the fuck is going on?
Okay.
Kevin, just so you understand, by the way, you're fucking Chinese, you're not Kevin. Why is... Just so you understand, Matthew has the issue that he's not able to use both parties of his brain. He's only able to either deflect a question or redirect the call with another question. So that's why I told him, focus yourself on one. So that's why he's fucking up the first part, where he's not deflecting any questions, but he's trying to win over the authority of the call. That's why he's asking questions. Because I'm pretty confident in saying, you heard the saying of, who asks questions in a conversation or a call leads the conversation. Yeah. Do you want to try, or do you want to listen to one more round?
I'll do one more and then I can try.
Cool. Jake, Bikini, I don't care which one is which one.
It don't matter.
How many sales have you made this year?
We have made about 20 sales this year.
Okay. And your commission, is it the same as the usual commission in Texas, which is 4%?
No, our commission is 6%.
Okay. And what is the size of your team?
Our size is now no, there's 4 people in our team.
And would you be the key decision maker, or do we need someone else on this call?
No, I am the key decision maker.
Okay, okay. And what is your goal in the next 6 months?
Our goal, I want to get up to, so right now, like I said, we're at 20. I want to get up to about 40 to 45.
What is 45? Admiral.
How would you be able to help us get to 40 and 45 though?
I'll definitely break down our processes. First of all, is that in your capacity, 45, to handle if we were to send you
Yeah.
45 leads?
Yes. Is that something you're gonna be able to do?
That's one of our processes, one of many. And could you handle more leads if you were to be sent them?
Yes. But how are you gonna do that though? Like, what are you gonna use?
We have multiple different processes. I'm happy to break them down for you once we get into the presentation.
And know the fucking word.
Yeah.
It's not existent. Remove it from your dictionary.
Working on it. Out of every 10 clients, do any refer any more onto you?
What do you mean? Like referrals?
Yeah. Do you get referrals from sales?
Yeah, that's the only thing that we're doing right now is referrals.
Okay. And do you think that's enough getting you leads?
No, that's why I kind of joined this call, is I want to see what's out there.
Okay. Not a problem. Okay. And how many clients do you think come back after you've dealt with them before? Do any return for more services?
No, not really any.
Well, it's kind of fucking hard in pool installation, unless you know you have more houses where you want the pool. So like people have 5 pools in the house. So it's kind of a dumb question, but it's okay. Unless he will also do service cleaning, pool cleaning stuff. Okay. Kevin, Chinese, do you understand?
I can give it a go, yeah.
Wonderful. You can pick one of 3 opponents. You have Mr. M number 1, which is Mr. Bikini, Mr. M number 2, which is Jake, and you have one-sided brain, which is Matthew.
I'll go with Jake. Jake the dog.
Lovely. Okay. Do you want to ask questions or will I?
You can ask them.
Cool. Okay, what brought you on this call today?
So I was trying to see if I had any more options to increase my sales this year. And I just wanted to know that if you guys would be able to do that or if it's something I'm interested in.
I'm happy to break down our processes when I get down later on into the call. Oh fuck, that's such a fucking bad word. Okay. What do you sell? What was the average listing price for houses in your area?
So I'm in Florida now, so the average listing price would be anywhere from 4 to 700,000.
Okay. And the average commission price in Florida is 7%. Are you working with the same?
6%.
Okay. And what are you doing at the moment to generate leads?
I'm just using referrals and I manage my own page on Instagram.
And you're running it all yourself?
Yes.
Where is the deflections? Where are the questions? Kevin, what's going on?
Okay, so what should I ask in that case? Like if he asks me, what am I doing now to get those leads? And then I literally just say what I use. Like
Then you can literally redirect the call and be like, but what is it that you do? What's your
okay,
service? What's your price?
If you want to ask me questions, I
Okay.
can try and deflect for you.
okay. All right, I guess we can switch then. So what are your goals for this year? How many houses are you selling currently? And what's the prospect?
Okay, you just ask 3 fucking questions. That's terrible.
Okay, so should I slow it down?
No one is gonna answer 3 questions at the same time.
Okay. Okay, so what are your goals this year, Jake?
I would like to sell 20 houses this year.
20 houses? Okay, and what are you currently doing this?
I only managed to sell 10 last year.
10 last year.
Yeah,
So you want to double your business?
100%. Yes, I'd like to double my
Okay.
business. Is that something you think you could do for us?
Yes, that's the processes we have. We can definitely do that. But I just want to ask you, are you alone or do you have a team?
I'm working by myself at the moment. Do you do lead generation? Is that something you would do for us?
Yes, of course, that is one of the services that we offer. Is that something you would be interested in? Is that not something you're doing now?
I'd be more than interested in lead generation. I'd be more than interested in lead generation. I've been burnt in the past trying to work with people before. That's why I only work on my own.
Okay, can you explain more of that, please? Like, what exactly is burnt? Like, you spend money and what they didn't
I was
properly do
just
service delivery.
You're currently giving him an answer he can give you. You don't want to put words in prospect mouth because you said, okay, what do you mean when you say burned? And then you tell him, like, have you spent money? It never came back. Did they fuck you over? You're literally telling him what he can tell you. This is not something you want to do. Like,
Okay.
it's similar as if a woman will just not give you a vibe of being interested in you, and you will say to her, do you think I'm ugly? Do you think I'm small? Do you think I'm Chinese? Like, she can just literally say yes.
Okay, so then what would be a better option, like in that case? Like, how would you reply to like I've been burnt in the past?
Oh, cool. What does it mean burned? What happened? Was it a stove, or what did they do?
Okay.
Please try again, because there was no deflection, there was no questioning. Jake also fucked up. He just started answering your questions. Ah, yes, one more thing, Kevin. Psychologically speaking, normal people's brain, unless you're trained on it, you're gonna, realistically speaking, forget your question that you're pushing for after 2 or 3 times. So, like, if someone's gonna deflect your question 2 or 3 times, you're just gonna forget it. Like, this is what happened just with Jake now. Like, you were not even trying, he just forgot to ask. He just started answering. So
I think
please,
I get it now. I misunderstood it. I think I fully understand it now. I think someone's asked me questions. I think I can deflect.
please try again.
Oh, same position. Okay. So Jake, what are your goals? What are your goals this year?
I've. That's a hard one to deflect. My goal, I'd like to sell more houses. That's just
Some more
houses.
houses?
Yeah.
And what is your plan for doing that this year? Do you have some method of doing that? Do you have like a increased sales in mind? What are you trying to do?
I've tried things before. How do you generate leads?
Well, we typically use Meta, Facebook, running ads. We help you build your image if that's something you want to do as well.
Why do you answer this question?
What should I say? Like,
Jake, I don't want to paraphrase. Tell me your question exactly.
Oh, it was what do you guys use to generate leads?
A bunch of different systems that we are using, but in order for me to assess what will work best for you, I just need to ask you more questions. So you say you want to make more deals. Wonderful. How many were you able to close last year?
20.
And then you have a number, because he deflected your first question. So you don't even have a number you can start with. Again,
okay.
yeah, just observe, because I think you just need to observe more. Mr. Bikini, Mr. One-sided brain.
Where did these names come from? Like, what is Mr. Bikini?
And just, you guys remind me of things. Like, he's actually in pool. Like, he
Pool?
his niche is pool services, so that's why Mr.
Oh,
Bikini. Matthew is just retard. Like Matthew, it's because he used his real name on Zoom while being on a sales call, and he said that he's Matthew, but he is a fucking Croatian name. So the prospect could see his full Croatian name and just said, "My name is Matthew." Jake, he just reminds me of the actor.
I look
His
nothing
face,
like the actor, but apparently I look like the actor.
he looks
So
like
maybe
the
it's a way
actor
to
that
get glasses.
put voice for Jake the dog from Adventure Times, and you're just Chinese. Like maybe I'm gonna find a better nickname. Maybe you're just Chinese, or are you Korean?
I'm Chinese.
See, very good with names.
That's the first assumption always.
What can I say? I'm just good at everything I do.
Or cliche.
So, Mr. Bikini, Matthew.
Questions. Okay. So what lead generation sources are you using?
Well, I'm using a bunch of different services. Is lead generation something you can help me with?
Yeah, that'll be something I can help you with, but what in the past has worked and what hasn't worked?
Once again, please.
In the past, like what has worked and what hasn't worked?
Oh yeah, Bikini, reconnect your AirPods because you sound like you're in a fucking bottle of water. You just need to disconnect them and connect them again. This is a bag of AirPods.
There we go. Does that sound better?
Yes.
Awesome. So in the past, what lead generation sources have you used that's worked? And
On the side, though, I need to interrupt you. You look like you just watch fucking Squid Game. You have an outfit of a fucking guard in Squid Game. Yeah. Please move forward.
okay. So what lead generation sources have you used in the past?
Well, I used a bunch of different services. And what do you guys do?
Is not the word.
So we'll be able to help you with all that. I'm just trying to get a good understanding of where you're at, and I'll explain all of that stuff later. But you said you've tried stuff in the past. So what's worked?
The best for me was my social media management. Is this also something you can help me with? Is this something you are specializing in?
Yeah, I'll go through all that and I'll break it down for you. Are you running that social media by yourself, or is it a team that's running it?
I'm running is just by myself.
Okay. And how long does it take you to run that?
It takes me a couple of hours a day. So I really hope, like, is this something you can help me with? Can you save my time in terms of social media management?
Yeah, I'll be able to help you with all that stuff. Why don't you just pass it on to one of your team members though? You said it's taking you a few hours. How many
Yes,
team members?
because I said that I'm just working by myself. I don't have any team members to work with.
Oh, I thought you just said you had team members.
Yeah, you fucking did. You forgot.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Oh, fuck. Damn it. Do you want to change the roles? Do you want to ask him questions?
No, I gotta go.
Okay. Get your beauty sleep. Bye bye.
Yes. Bye. Thanks.
Chinese bikini.
Okay. What are your goals for this year?
I just want to get more leads. I just want
More
more
leads?
clients.
More clients? How are you doing that right now?
We use some like sources, lead generation sources. Is that something you're going to help us with?
Yes, that is definitely something we can do. But I would just like to know more of,
not a fucking word, Mr. Chinese.
is that I just want to get to know a little bit more about what you're doing.
Yeah, like I was saying, we use some websites, but what specific websites are you guys using that would help us?
Specific websites?
Yeah, like
Well,
what specific websites are you guys using?
we run our own ads and social media, but that's something else that we can talk about.
I'm confused.
You just usually answer the question that he never asked. They only get so
But no, he asked, I'm confused as well. Like he asked, what other websites are you using? Like we're not really using like,
yes, then why don't you just say that?
no, I tried to say like we use our own like ads
That would
and
be fine. But you could say, oh, no, we don't use any websites. We have other services. We have other things we do, other systems that we are running. And then you can move forward with the call. You have just answered the question that he never asked. The only good thing you did was mirroring, where you have literally asked him websites, because then he started explaining himself. What does he mean by it? That was the only thing you did. That was correct. And
okay.
by the way, I don't know if anyone else noticed, the only thing that Mr. Bikini, while fucking up and answering every other question, is doing well is after he answers a question, he says but, which I also don't necessarily like. Like you should also not have it in your dictionary. But in this context, it makes sense because everything you say before but is basically erasing itself from the mind of the prospect, and then the full focus is on the question you're asking afterwards. Because but in any context is most likely very negatively. As an example, you look good in this squid outfit, but you know, you look kind of like a fucking 9-to-5er.
Yeah.
Please
try again.
Do you want me to ask the questions, or are you wanting to still practice those?
We can switch for now.
Okay.
Sorry, guys, I have to run, but you guys keep going. Fair pleasure.
Bye, Jake.
Right, bye, guys.
So, what lead generation sources have you used in the past?
In the past, I've run Facebook ads by myself. I've done some Instagram building my page a bit, and that's pretty much it. And a bit of referrals.
Nice. And how are those working out for you?
They're doing fine, but I would like to improve that, you know, get more sales in if possible.
About how many sales are you wanting per month? Let's say for the next 3 months. How many sales do you want in the next 3 months?
Anywhere from 20 to 30 extra houses sold. That would be great.
And you want those, how are you going to achieve those?
Well, is that something you can help me with?
Yes, this will
Like
definitely be something we can help you with.
like what, I'm just curious, like what kind of things do you do? Like besides, you know, the lead gen and social media management.
Kevin,
Sorry.
M and A is not the word. You don't need to make a sound when you think. You can
All right.
completely just put the post in there and Bikini calm down a little bit because you're immediately trying to push and answer a question while the prospect is still thinking.
Okay, wait, what do you mean?
In this case, he's still thinking of what to say to you, and you're immediately just like rushing. Like he said one part of his sentence, and you're like, yeah, definitely something we can do. Like, calm the fuck down. Stop
Okay.
taking cocaine or whatever you do.
Okay.
So okay, I guess I'll continue from there.
Yes.
What other services do you offer, or besides, you know, lead generation, because we're kind of doing that already, and social media management, we're kind of just managing that on our own. Like how can you guys you know, give us those extra 20 sales in the next 3 months?
Yeah, I'll go through all that and in that presentation, and I'll break it all down for you from A to Z. However, I'm stumped. I didn't know what to ask. I forgot. What did you ask? I completely forgot.
Well, like what other or what methods do you use, and like what other methods do you use for lead gen and managing social media pages? Because we're kind of doing that right now. And if we pass it on to you guys, you know, what's kind of the benefit, you know, besides saving a few hours of our time?
Yeah, so well, that's definitely something I can help you with, and we're gonna break it all down later. But for right now, I'm trying to get a good understanding of where you're at and where you're trying to get to. And so
Okay.
that's why I was trying to understand like what things have you used in the past to help you get to where you are right now.
Yeah, like I said, just, you know, the social media management, the Instagram page, and also running the Facebook ads. That's kind of what we've been doing. And we
Okay.
just wanted to know if you guys can, you know, somehow increase our sales, because we're kind of consistently hitting just 10 like every month.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be able to help you with that. So what are your close rates for those? So how many deals are you seeing, and then how many are you closing?
Can you be a little more specific? Like,
Yeah, so just a hypothetical. If you have 50 potential deals set up, how many of those are you going to be able to close?
50, I would say my close rating is about 50%, so 25 out of those 50.
Okay. And what are your commissions on all those? So in Texas, I know that the average commission is 5%. What are your commissions at?
4.5.
4.5. Okay. And in Texas, the average listing goes for 400,000. Is that what you guys are also working with?
Yeah, it's in a similar range, but we've done anywhere, you know, up of 900,000 to below, you know, 300,000. It's a very wide range.
Okay. And did those all come from the social media and lead generation?
Yes, a little bit of referrals as well, but
A
yeah.
little bit of referrals. Okay. And what else would I ask? I really don't know what else I'd ask. Would we go into the presentation then?
You don't really have enough information to go into the presentation. Like, you will just need to gather more details that you can calculate with, or just simply at this point confirming the data you have. So just run calculations on how much is he, for example, making per month, just so you can confirm the numbers. Because the last thing you want to do is just blindly trust someone with the numbers.
Okay, so like, if I was asking questions, like what are like, if you were to give me key points about like what to ask in the discovery before I move on to the presentation, what would those be?
Ooh, you were in real estate, correct? I can explain to you, but in the meantime, like, give me 1 second. I can send you a document on it. Can you? I know I'm gonna send you a link. Never mind. Give me 1 second. As fundamentally speaking, what you want to know is simply how many deals has he closed last year, how many has he closed, for example, this year so far, so you can understand where he's standing right now. How many has he closed last year? What was the average listing price? What is the percentage that he takes? Then confirm the number of how much has he like made last year. Then you can also have easy calculation on how much he's making, like has he made monthly, and then simply like what else is he doing? How is he currently getting those people? Give me 1 second. Do I have it here as the question of the day? Real estate. Yeah, I can send you the link right now. You have it in
Okay.
Just make a copy of it.
So like I was attempting to deflect. I don't know if like I was doing that good. Is that something like the prospects would do?
It honestly depends. So that's why we are training, because you're just simply not good at it. But that's why we are training it. There are various different reasons why prospect will do that, either because he just doesn't fuck around and just wants to know what is that you're doing, or just simply to win control over in the call. Like, if you will ask me questions in the call, like, I will never answer them. Because the last thing I will do if you're trying to sell me something is so you can figure out how much I make, because like none of your fucking business, because I know that then you will try to charge me based on how much I make.
Okay.
In your case, like in lower sales, I say lower because like if I will tell someone how much I make monthly, they will shit themselves. But like in lower sales or like normal sales, you just want to get those numbers so you can calculate it and then confirm it with him. So you know that the person is simply just able to afford your service.
So we're kind of just seeing like if they're even able to afford our service, right?
Yes, because that's why it's the discovery part of the call. And that's why, realistically speaking, discovery part of the call is only gonna take 15 minutes because otherwise, like if the person is broke. Yes, if you have time, feel free to just practice pain pooling and negative report. But otherwise, like if you're busy, if you're fully booked, then no need for it.
So if
M is not a word, Kevin. Please remove it from your dictionary.
okay, if they are coming onto the call as a qualified lead, would they not already be able to afford it or
No, you still ask it.
okay.
Because in every process, independent of how good qualification is, they may have lied. Like I had calls where I will sell a software for let's say 200,000 per year, and I will speak to someone who doesn't have that in the bank account. I had people who will hop on a call with me, like they have made 100,000 in a year, so they are not even close to be able to afford that. And the only reason why I was able to figure it out and I understood, oh, it will not close, not because I'm bad at sales, but simply because this person is just simply not fucking able to afford it. But the person lied because he wanted to be on the call.
And then would you just like dismiss them and get them off the call? How would that work?
Again, it depends if you have time. I will just, for shit and giggles, practice negative reports, see maybe they can remortgage house, maybe they can sell something, maybe they can take a loan. But if you don't have time, like if you have enough things to do, then yeah, you say, look, Kevin, respectfully, I don't think this is something that you can afford. Or if you want to be nicer, you can say, I don't think you're a good fit. I'm just gonna cut it short here because the last thing I want to do is waste your or my time.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah. So I just wanted to also like check up on because you said there was an appointment today, correct?
No,